Just keep an eye on it, because the last couple of times we've had some drops. So if we do that, we'll just continue doing what I did last couple of times, just make a part 2.
I show it up and running.
Up and running? Alright.
Okay, time to be awkward and self-conscious. Here we go.
Okay, cool. Alright. We are good to go. Put that down there. Welcome, everybody, once again, to Streams of Spero, the War of the Garden chapter. War of the Garden chapter. This is episode 2. We are down one of our casts. Our illustrious king has had some local problems. If you know, up here in New England, we are having some major rain issues with flooding. So unfortunately, the king has had to deal with that. But we still have a couple of the players that will try to deal with what is happening here in the Garden of Gaia. Starting with Carl, who are you playing?
Hi there, I am Carl, and I am playing Reldanius, the wizard, who is formerly of a mercenary company, who's now been brought into the retinue of King Killian.
Alright. Art?
I am playing Samadalus, former captain of King Killian's guard, who was trapped in hell on the River Styx for a long time and is now coming back into this whole mess that he's still not even sure what's going on in a lot of ways.
Yes, you've shown your displeasure. Jen?
Repeatedly.
I'm Jen, and I am playing Archdruid Cascade Brine, Captain Cascade Brine.
One of our titans. Mark?
So I'm playing Captain Throkil Stormforge, a dwarven historian and artificer who has been pressed into service as captain of the city's defense in the service of King Killian.
And Josh?
And I'm playing the third captain in our retinue, Captain Electro Galanus, nautical captain, not terrestrial captain. The once and former and always captain of the Heart of the Mermaid, went through Hades with Simantalus.
Wow.
And here to make sure that his family lives on through great times of turmoil and strife.
Seem a little bitter about that, but...
Hey, now
I'm not bitter.
I've stopped using Captain of the Heart of the Mermaid in my titles.
All right, I'm going to try to... We've got another split going on as we try to defend the city. So I'm going to try to let people know where they are, as well as I'm trying to make sure I know where everybody's going. So, starting with our illustrious Captain Electo. You are going within the city of Kylos.
Yes.
You wish to hit the taverns, if I'm correct, to try and get information on the religious aspects in New Greyheim, or the ones religious aspects in Kylos itself?
I'll start with New Greyheim, start small, and then see what I can learn about Kylos overall.
Okay, let's see here. Excuse me, I'm also trying to deal with a bit of a cold here. Alright, so we have the Wind of the North is a tavern, the Lost Key Inn, the Watchful Owl Inn, the Silver
Watchful
Dragon.
Owl. I like that one. Watchful Owl.
That's where we're going. Alright. It is a 5-story building that overlooks the Kylos Center. It is an impressive structure with rose gardens surrounding the fence into the establishment. Known as the Wine House of Taverns, the Watchful Owl Inn has been a high society favorite for generations. Who are you going with of your illustrious crew?
I would... None of them are particularly high society.
No, not with your crew. You don't really kind of recruit that way. Maybe you want to start thinking about that.
I was going to say, perhaps you should pick a different tavern.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like I think I want to get with a different tavern then. I'm not going to start with the high society one yet because I didn't come dressed for high society. So
well,
let's. What other ones do I think would have?
To be fair, Josh,
Yeah.
you are a very high-ranking person of.
Oh,
Japan.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you are in a military naval uniform. It is not bummish.
Yeah. All right.
So
That's fine then. All right. As long as I'm not going to stand out as like not fitting the part or whatever, that's fine then. So I think I will take let's see. Because I left some people with the ship. I brought Sfazo and Scylla with me. No, not Scylla. Sorry, Salador. That's right. I brought Salador. So, as a high society sort of tavern, would it be the sort of place that a high society person coming with a bodyguard would be unusual or looked down upon?
No, Kalos is a warlike city-state.
Great, perfect. Then I'll bring Salador with me then, and basically just have him tell him that I want him to go ahead, like per usual, play the silent big guy behind me, making sure that I don't get snuck up on while I'm mixing elbows and drinking fine wine, and I'll make sure and bring a barrel back for you and the crew.
All right.
So,
as you will begin to enter the Watchful Owl Inn.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to polish up my medals and straighten up my tunic and my jacket. My belts are straight, my shoes are shiny. All that's really. Once I learn kind of the nature of the place, I'm going to make sure to go ahead and really play it up.
All right, sounds good. Before we get into that, then, so Captain Throkil, you are manning the defenses of the city.
Yes, so I'm going to get things in order in the command and control center, and then walk the wall, work with Captain Rubelis to go over his deployment orders and how he's got stuff set out to make sure I catch any mistakes or errors that he may have made. He's a good man, but sometimes he doesn't always get the details right. So make sure that things are set. We have the adequate number of sentries and the guard posts and all that various such like.
All right, then. Why don't you first then give me an investigation check to get things started?
So hopefully this afternoon doesn't carry on until this evening, since I just rolled a 6.
You are really rolling well.
A 2
today.
A 2 on the die.
All right.
Can I attempt to pick up on something with the passive investigation and passive perception?
I'm still going to give you some things. It's never a complete loss. But I think you don't have something, so I do want to give you something. Let's find it though. Oh, there we go. All right, make sure this kind of goes through. Nope. That is good.
Oh, the stream went black, so that helps instead of spinning.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks like it matches what I see on our screens now. And now I see football. And now I don't.
Football.
What do you see now?
I see us again.
Okay.
Stream is matching, like Jen said.
It was like you clicked on your home screen for a second and it showed a click on me to for a football article or some shit. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's
Speaking
just
of
keep it
football.
as is.
48-16. I'm pretty sure I can shut this game.
I was gonna say that's a runaway. That's almost a boring game. If it's that bad, that's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still fun to watch the Dallas get
Dallas
their
lose.
teeth
They're one of the
kicked
teams. Yeah.
that badly.
Alrighty.
Because I did not think Green Bay was that good.
They're not.
Dallas has been horrible.
But
on
the thing about it is there's teams are also not that dominant like we think they are.
No, but their defense has choked this game away. So.
Okay, so we are.
Sorry, Jen. I know you don't care.
Mark, are you there? I don't see you. I hear you. There you
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I was just gobbling around with some stuff.
go. Okay, so did we all get the map I just tried to send to the thing? No.
I didn't see anything come through.
That didn't go through either. Go figure. The one thing I wanted to get in here messed with me still. Alright, folks, if you were with us, sorry that we're having to restart. My internet just decided to kaputs itself out. Okay, so that looks like it is coming to yes. So there it is. Alright, it will be reversed. The castle keep you see on your left side should be on the east side. So just the way I saved it, it didn't try to fix the printing of that. And in fact, what I'll do is also be cool to the wonderful fans who are sticking around for this. Send it up here too. Now, one of the things I will tell you that you basically see is the fact that there are 4 gates that you are sort of having to concern yourself with. But
I'm not seeing anything, Ben. All I see is the. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
yeah, it's slowly coming. All right, let me get it off of people's faces.
Yeah, get it up.
Stop.
Sorry, what was that map for?
This is Kylos,
Okay.
and it is in that layout. So that's where things lay for you guys. So fans now can see this as well. All right, so you can see my little black cursor though going through. The other thing that you are noticing right off the bat, because you want to keep the king and queen and all them safe and the daughter, as you can see the castle isn't, which is right there, is very accessible. There are no other like surrounding street defenses or other walls, so to speak. It's pretty much the castle, their walls and the grounds, and then their estate house.
What's beyond the castle's walls?
That is basically where the river lies, or the grounds of the fields and stuff. That's not really that important. You pretty much have just your regular fields and stuff, like regular towns. Those are all little buildings. If you were to,
Well, I meant outside the map.
Oh no, that's just kind of like. I took this from another resource, so that's nothing that's actually major.
Like, well, I meant like woodlands or like
It is
farmland.
Kylos is close to a river.
Okay, so that's just the riverside.
Yeah, it's a warp. It's a river that kind of bends around it, that goes from the west to the south. So if you take your Streams of Spero map, you'll see where Kylos lands in that fold from there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, pretty much, Mark, that's where your group is going to have to think and deal with. I'll let you savor on that for a moment. Cy and Cascade. So it's going to be the two of you and Lace going to New Greyheim.
Well, I want to get some information before I leave too, so I'm not quite ready to depart, as it were, because so can we get that information from Jake about what Ra told him about Azarian's motivations?
Yes.
Become recognized. All right. And Josh is not here right now, but I had commented that I had asked both Josh and Jen about trying to commune with Ezra and what they could get out of that. Not Ezra. Why do I keep saying Ezra? It changed to Nyx. God.
Nyx. Yeah.
Hasn't been Ezra in a long ass time.
Right.
I had written down Ezra, to be honest with you.
I think because he kept saying it, and I was
Oh, okay.
because
Ezra
the
was
gods
the
are so
first
off.
one.
Yeah.
Jen changed it a while back.
Okay. So.
I don't know if. Well, I do know Jen did something. So.
Well. Yeah. So Jen, it's up to you. What you kind of like. If you feel like it is prophecy or not to you. I mean, you are of a druid mentality.
Well, I did a little commune with nature and wanted to feel out towards where Azarian was. There's some bad stuff. I mean, I know there's bad stuff happening that way, but there's not a huge amount, from what I can tell right now, at least within my range. And then I tried to talk to your next person, and didn't get a whole lot. A raven came, so I decided to try to talk to the Raven Queen, and I think we had a nice little conversation. That raven was very sweet.
You talked to the Raven Queen, or just a raven, or a messenger from the Raven Queen?
Well, I've never seen. Well, maybe because I'm a druid, maybe they would act like that. I don't know. I had a nice talk with a raven.
Okay. And what did your raven say?
Oh, he didn't say much. Well, I mean, to be honest, he didn't say anything at all. But so I guess I had a nice talk with the raven, but the raven didn't say much to me at all. But I mean, it had to have come from the Raven Queen, right? He stuck around for a good long while.
You're an arch druid. Animals are going to be drawn to you.
I mean, that's true. But he was very sweet.
But he didn't say anything.
No.
Man, how'd you know he was sweet?
But he sat and listened. He didn't have to listen, but he listened.
Okay. So in your communing with nature, what insight did you get?
There was some. Well, obviously the land is hereabouts is very not healthy. There's a lot of bad stuff going on out there. I did sense some undead, but not some real bad ones, like low level, I guess you could say. But there wasn't a lot, and they weren't that close.
Okay. So, Josh, before you went off to the tavern, and before I left the town, I'd want to know if you had any luck, or if you'd even tried to speak to Nyx, where you're a traveler.
Speak to Nick? No.
Nyx.
No. Electo's not... You would remember this. He is not particularly religious.
Nor is Cy, but we're looking at a god war.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing investigation for the religion, so he's not...
Yeah. So, I mean, if you need me to go ahead and find out specific information about Nyx, or if you want me to try to commune with them on my way there, or find a cleric of Nyx or something, I can certainly do any of the above.
So here's my concern is this mist is in control, and Nyx is the god of the mist. So if we want to actually leave the mist in any way, shape, or form, this Nyx is the best logical option. Other than that, we're trapped here, and we need to get word out as to what's happening here.
I will see what I can find out.
I mean, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't want to leave until we found out what Electo found out about the religion. So it would delay our departure for a day or so at least.
Okay. This town part over here leads to where ship docks are. If I'm a Black Arrow.
Okay.
And past the farms, there are a few more there, but there are not many. The rivers are pretty rough, but and Kylos is not known for its navy. Thus, why it's been known that they have hired mercenary captains to do a lot of their transportations.
Just looking at the idea of where we need to defend against Marines coming off boats onto the shore. If it's all sharp-edged banks and rocks, then there's fewer places they can assault from a ship.
Well, that's the
Can
thing.
we...
Most of the, like, even New Greyheim doesn't have much of a navy. They have ships, but they don't have, it's not like a naval city. The naval city would now be one that was taken over there.
So we're likely to face a conventional infantry assault with all the troops just marching overland in the city?
And historically, that has been the case. There might be a naval vessel here or there, but it's not like a naval assault. You're not going to get Athens taking on sort of like a landfall. Like, they may bring a few ships in, but that would be a massive, maybe 50 men. Most of all the engagements that you've had with the former of New Greyheim / Kylo, Savazo, have been infantry based.
Okay.
And not even a lot of cavalry either. Like, cavalry is also not a well-known commodity in the warfare that goes on in the Garden of Gaia because of the woods.
Can we flood those fields to make it more difficult or impossible for at least living troops to march through so that it's cutting off an avenue of approach?
Yes, but if you do so, you will do huge ramifications for the survival of the city down for future.
And if we don't, there could be even worse ramifications for the survival of the city. We have gods; they can make food. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm not giving that order yet, but I just want to know what we can do.
Yep.
You also have an archdruid that can help the fields come back.
If she doesn't get killed going to a city of the vampire.
If she survives.
It's all about coming back.
I'm sure that a vampire druid would be able to revive all the dead plants.
That's very true. Okay, so Cy, you're going to continue to wait for information before you take it off. Then it's the three of you are still going to wait.
I can't leave without some information.
Okay. Ronaldus, I guess, is volunteering to be going to be the ambassador to Lockett. Is that part of the group's agreement?
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. So he will go.
Why Lockett and not Sunkel?
Both of them actually, but
okay, that's fine.
Lockett is more important because Lockett is actually one of the largest cities that can actually defend itself from New Greyheim.
Okay.
It's actually bigger than you guys do. Actually, Lockett is the biggest city in all of the Garden of Gaia.
Okay, so that would make sense technically.
Okay, so Ronaldus, you are going to take your entourage and head out?
Who are you taking for an entourage?
Squad of men. Desire, keep her busy.
You're going to bring Desire on a diplomatic mission?
I mean, somebody to be the big brooding bodyguard type.
Well, you could always have Electra can always go with you as well. She was captain of the Queen's Guard at one point, and I trust her as well.
I mean, if she wants to go, I'm not gonna.
I'll ask Electra. Would she rather stay behind to defend the city, or would she rather try to help with the peace effort?
She would rather stay close to the king.
All right. Well then,
and his queen.
Okay.
If she could resume her her duties in the Queen's Guard, she would absolutely prefer to do that.
Oh, all All right. Well, I'll speak to the captain of the Kingsguard and make it happen then.
Okay.
Considering I gave him his title.
All right. So, Ronaldus, you will be doing that then. How are you getting there?
I
Horses?
believe that probably the fastest and easiest is taking a boat.
Yep, you can do boat too, though.
Now, that's not hard and fast, so I don't know if there are established roads that would be quicker.
There are roads, there are horses. So, with a small team, you could definitely. I mean, like I said, there's not often military cavalry. It's just one of the things that's just not practical in the warfare that your area is in. But it does not mean messengers with, being on the main roads and horses is not uncommon.
Yep. I was leaning towards sailing because otherwise we're going to have to pass pretty close to Hollowdale.
Yep, that's fine. So you will get a vessel and head there. All right, Captain Lecto.
Yeah.
You enter.
Well, on my way to on my way to the tavern, I want to keep note of temples and like roadside altars and stuff like that, and see if there's any particular deity or anything in particular that stands out as being as having more than others or anything like that.
Well, pretty much it is common in all the cities of the Garden of Gaia to have one main temple to each of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So all the old gods are representative here.
Is there any of those temples that look wealthier or better patronized than the others, or do they all seem to be on equal standing?
Yes. Zeus, Hera, Ares, Aphrodite, Apollo, they are, and Poseidon all do well. Athena would be one as well. Dionysus, Artemis, Hades, Hermes don't particularly.
So basically, just all of them equal standing.
But
no
yeah,
one that
Zeus
seems
is
to be
definitely the most lavish.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay, all right, fair enough.
And you do know that Zeus has ties. There are a lot of following beliefs even within the royal family of Kalos as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. Thank you.
But none of these new gods that have you've been hearing about.
Right.
Okay. All right. Give me, I guess, a quick investigation to be as you check out the Watchful Owl.
That's a 21.
Okay, you will find out through word of mouth, people talking, stuff like that. The owner is Gregory Williams. He is a human man.
Williams. So I know obviously there are Williams from Alanis, but nobody that we've met so far on this side that is Williams family.
Correct.
Okay.
No one you've met.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah.
You know that he is often he's a guy who will pick up on a lot of details of stuff, but he doesn't engage in a lot of the conversation. He always seems to have a good ear for chatter.
All right.
Janice Treewillow is one of the half-elven female servers, as well as Renee Ashenford. She is a human female. And Vanya Wells is also a half-elf female.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I would. What's the layout of the tavern when I walk in? Like, who seems to be there? What do I see?
Looks like a lot of merchant type of individuals that are going about. Again, the investigation kind of hears there's definitely chatter about war. Like everyone's talking about trade routes being disrupted. A lot of the rivers are not moving. The vessels are not moving down the rivers. Several ships. Some names that you might, they're not big ship names, but vessels that they're, goods transporters and stuff like that. That they have been more or less been seized and now no longer running right now. They're all being held by New Greyheim. Some are being held by Lockett just to keep them out of, getting in to be taken. So a lot of that's kind of going on. Couriers are becoming scarce. Not many, many are quitting. Some have disappeared. Mail's not getting through as well. So, reports of these from these other city, and everyone's talking about what the hell is this fog? Like, that is the predominant curiosity going on with many of the patrons. And there's a lot of weird speculation and rumors to what it is and what it does.
As I walk in, then I will take extra effort. If I hear that that's kind of the chatter that's in the room, I will take extra effort to make sure that I'm puffing out my medals and straightening my very military uniform and seeing who in the tavern makes eye contact with me and see who notices.
All right, give me a perception check.
19.
Okay. There is definitely another human man. He's around his mid-50s, black hair, brown eyes, who seems to be definitely he's eyed your medals and trying to figure out who you are. A lot of the other people are still talking about, obviously, the other conversations that I mentioned, especially the fog.
Right. Then I will. Is there a open seat? Is he at the bar? Is he at a table? Where's he sitting?
Yeah, he seems to be at the bar. He definitely has a half cup in front of him. You get it. Give me an insight check.
It's a 27.
Okay, yeah, he's in his cups because he looks like he's having problems, and he came there looking for someone maybe who could solve it. He's definitely looking for somebody. He's just not going to sit there and drown in his cups type of person. You have a feeling that he is a person of some wealth, a distinguished nobility aspect of that maybe, or a merchant owner, and he looks like he's probably falling under times into that and looking for someone who has a solution.
All right, fair enough. Then I will. I'll saunter up to the bar next to him. I will try to flag down one of the servers and say loudly with that I'm new to town, so I'd be interested in a darker vintage. What do you have behind the bar that I may
right. Well, I have actually made many of these things here for this group. All right, you are looking for something wine or beer?
Wine. We'll go wine. Well, actually, is my soon-to-be new friend drinking wine or beer?
He is a wine drinker.
Wine. Yep, wine it is then. So something dark red, a little bit of funk to it.
Dark red. There are 2 red wines. You can either, she says you can either go with the Rose Bliss or the Rose of Aphrodite.
Rose of Aphrodite, my lady.
Okay. That's 2 gold.
And leave 3 on the counter.
Okay. He goes, nice choice. The guy that you was eyeing you.
Yep. I will. I'll extend my glass and say, "Cheers."
He does his place guess. He goes, Pallas, Hefeton.
Electo. I extend my arm.
Captain of a ship, I see.
Aye. Captain of many ships.
Many ships.
Haven't we all, throughout our days, served on many vessels?
Ah. Server commandered.
So, you are you from here?
Yes, I own the Good Value store, the general store here.
What you if I may be so bold, you seem distracted. Is there anything I can help with?
Well, if you have many ships, I'd like to know if you can sail out of this fog.
I wish.
That's the problem right now. I
Right.
get a lot of wares from Jacksonport, and nothing's coming through.
Yeah, it's Nyx's blessing has been strong on the sunrise and the sunset, it seems.
I don't know who this Nyx is, but I'm not very fond of her. I would prefer the messages and the blessings of Hermes to get things through so we can get the goods back.
Is Hermes particularly influential here, as with all the merchantry and
No,
travel
when
and
it comes to comes to
commerce?
storms, Captain. It's Zeus, and we fall into a lot of the wisdom of Athena, but the priestesses do not seem to have answers.
What questions have they been asking?
Where did it come from, and why can't certain people get out?
It seems like between the fog and the war, the war that's coming, there are a great many concerns.
Yeah, I've been hearing cities have been falling. That's also dire news.
I
Think this fog is magic, then?
mean, I wish, my friend, that I could tell you. I do not know. You know, I've seen a great many things in my travels, things that would defy explanation, things that you would confuse for wizardry, that were merely tricks of the sun and tricks of the sea. But I have never seen anything like this before.
Nor the tales. I've heard things maybe the mythology of the abyss, but this is something different.
So, are you from Jacksonport originally? You said you get a lot of commerce from there.
I am from Kylos, but many of our wares and goods come from there because they have an abundance of vegetation, woods, and fields around the west coast.
Electo will point to one of the medallions on his chest. Says, "I'm from Jacksonport. I've lived there from time to time.
Oh,
That's where my family is now, in fact."
I hope you get to them then.
So where you said that there are priestesses who have been asking this question, been looking around. Could I speak with them? Who would I speak to if I wanted to try to get their wisdom and try to tell them what I have seen?
Well, I imagine you go to the temples. Or
would it be
if you
anybody in particular that?
If you think it wizardly, I would imagine the court of the Azure Owl could give you some answers. If you have the ear of the king, I imagine.
Electo will merely sip his glass slowly and says, "Indeed, if only." So, firmly in you yourself are firmly in the belief of the old gods, then Zeus and Aphrodite.
Of course.
What do you feel about the incursion of these new gods coming?
What new gods?
You have not heard the rumors?
I've not heard rumors of new gods.
Well, my friend, I think that would be a conversation for many, many more barrels. There are rumors on the wind. If you have been here and have not heard the tales of loose-lipped sailors who have come from afar, there are strange things afoot, I am afraid.
Well, we've seen that with the fog. So you're saying these new gods are coming through that and disrupting?
I mean, I am making if I had the ear of the king, then I would have the ear of the gods as well, my friend. I say no such things. I observe, and I see many things which point similar directions. And I am but a curious sort. I wonder if there is connection. I do not presume to know if there is or not. I assure you, my friend, I am no avatar.
I see. Well, I guess we'll have to. Hopefully, that Athena reveals what is happening amongst us.
Indeed. Perhaps any of them could reveal what is going on. I feel like we could use their wisdom right now, and their support. How do you fare? How do you think New Greyheim fares in this war? You've heard of the battle coming.
Yeah, the name change still hard to get used to, but they've always
Indeed.
they've always been a shit city. I'm not gonna lie. They're very warlike. They've always been about conquering. They've never been happy with their lands, and they've always wanted more. The peace that they've tried to broker has been tentative, but many of this shit goes from back to King Demos's days, and I feel sorry that his son now has to deal with this.
How do you feel about King Killian?
He's a good man.
I think many would say the same. Do you think he's a strong ruler?
He seems to be doing well. I mean, he comes with much of a curse. We all know he is brokenhearted. The family has been in ruins.
Yeah. The Hawkins have indeed been just decimated. Time has not been kind to them.
Your server comes. She goes, "Captain, would you be needing any food?"
And I apologize, Ben. I did not write down his name fast enough. What was the name of the person I'm talking to?
The person you are talking to is Pallas, Pallas. Hefetan, Hephetun.
N like Nancy or M like Mary?
What is it? Hephetun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll look at Palace and say, "Have you eaten, sir? Can I buy you dinner?"
Well, if you're buying, Captain, then the way things have been, I could definitely use the
Right.
the gratitude and the.
Yeah. My coin, your choice.
He says we will. Do I have the food? No, I must just drinks this one. He goes. Your roast will be fine for us. And Renee goes, "As you wish." You're asking a lot about the churches, Captain.
Sure. I mean, there seems to be lots going on that the wisdom of the gods would be useful for. You have a keen eye, keen ear.
I've heard some of the people talk that there's many of the churches in that New Greyheim that are no longer standing or doing their service anymore.
I will look at Palace and say, I believe that this may be related to this incursion that I was speaking of. Yes, there seems to be some sort of shifting of the deities. Instability, so to speak. Do you know anything about them, or?
Yeah, the new king has sent their sentences talking of this new betrayal. There's definitely a new church that's been built in there. One of the Raven Queen.
What do you know of this Raven Queen?
I don't know, something of the darkness that's surrounding the city. The men that come from there said that and another one of Silk, two new gods that these people over there are worshipping. Or goddesses, the queens.
Well, if there are dark deities at foot, then we need the assistance of Zeus and his cadre to keep us safe. Then,
Well, many of the faithful are the royal guard themselves to the king.
Indeed. What do we owe you for the roast, my lady?
7 silver.
Give you a full gold piece.
Well, thank you.
If you were to come by any other rumors, Renee, I would certainly be interested in hearing them. I'll be here for a while. If you know of anybody else that has any other information specifically about what's going on in New Greyheim, it would be worth your while.
Are you a captain to the king?
He will sip his wine slowly and say, "Influence is a funny thing, my lady, isn't it?"
Roll a deception check, please.
Absolutely. Deception 21.
Okay. Yes, I guess you're right. Oh, sure. If I hear any more, I do hear quite a bit. I'll be quick to look you up. Captain
Electo.
Electa. Okay. And she goes and starts mingling with her other guests.
I will keep my eye on her just to see who she's mingling with. Excuse me.
Okay, give me a perception check.
It's a 19. I've been rolling very well tonight.
Yeah, it's good. 'Cause Mark's been rolling.
Hopefully we don't get into combat because I think I've ruined every roll.
Renee seems to more or less gravitate towards very wealthy, noble men.
Mm-hmm.
And what you notice is she seems to have a very easy knack of striking up conversations with them.
Okay. Yeah, if anybody that she saddles up to stands out for any reason, I would be interested. So.
Okay.
Other than that, I would eat my dinner with Palace, continue to make small talk, make sure that I get the address of the general store where he's at, so that I, with promises of patronage, and certainly once this is all over, to go ahead and work out deals and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So, Captain Throkel, you are getting defenses all prepared and ready. Pretty much we'll make it easy, Captain Electo. You won't find anything more from what you've garnered there at the inn. Do you wish to return to the king and Cy?
Sure. I'll go back in and report on the stuff that I've been working on. Trying to get more cannons made to outfit the walls as much as they can handle the recoil. Have 2 dwarven engineers here that I think are more than adequate to working on things. Takes time, but if we start early, we can get as much done as we can. We can speed it up as much as possible. Hopefully change the balance of our abilities ahead of what the spies may have reported back.
Okay. Josh, are you returning back?
Yeah, I mean, after dinner, like, I'm not going to be in any rush to get out. I'll make sure that when I leave the tavern, I will seek out Renee and I will give her an extra 5 silver pieces, just to thank her for her service. And again, that I hope that if I next time I'm in, if she's heard any other interesting rumors, that I'd be interested in hearing them. And then I will make my way back to the castle. Being very cautious not to go the same way that I came. So I want to travel a different route back to the castle than the one that I went by. And I want to be aware about whether or not I'm being followed, and make sure that Salador is also keeping an eye out to make sure that we're not being followed.
Okay. All right. So basically, you will get back, no other issues. So I'll leave that conversation between you and Art, however you wish to discuss things.
Sure.
And Art can tell me if he wishes to leave.
Yeah. What can I tell you, Cy? The town we're in, Kylos, again, firmly planted with the old gods. They're not even really aware of the new god incursion, except for some small bits of information. And they've heard that in New Greyheim there have already been churches established, one to the Raven Queen and one to Silk.
Really?
And King Azarian is referring to something as a new betrayal. I wasn't able to get a lot of information about that, but there's some betrayal that's on his mind. Everyone's very keenly aware of the war, very keenly aware of the fog, obviously, and it's drastically affecting the economy here. So.
It's interesting that there are new churches there already for those gods, considering he's got favor with 2 of the old gods. 3 of the old gods.
I thought that the Raven Queen was a name for Silk. Why would there be 2 distinct temples?
No, they're different.
They're 2 different beings.
We've seen both of them together at the same time.
Yeah. Silk and the Raven Queen are tied together for sure. Their interests align in that they want to have their worships together, or in this world together. Okay, that's important information, actually. And a new betrayal, you said, huh?
Yeah, there's some rumor about a new betrayal. One of the wait staff there had some rumor bits, and so if that was, it's another potential avenue to go ahead and see if there was more to be learned there. But yeah, there was something about Azarian talking about a new betrayal.
Do we know what the first betrayal was?
That'd be a good question.
There's a new one. There was one before this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The only other thing that she said is that there's definitely a feeling of darkness surrounding the city.
So we all feel that.
Sure. Right, exactly. I mean, that's,
Well, I am going to go with Lace, the Paladins, and Cass to talk to him. I guess is the only thing we have left. Yeah.
As in, entreat with him and try to parlay with him?
Well, if he wants legitimization, he has it. He's conquered 3 cities.
Do we know that that's what he wants?
That's what Ra told Killian, the king. My apologies.
So Azarian arrived with the other interlopers, so they all came together.
Yeah.
Theoretically in some sort of alliance, or they were swept in together. Is it possible that this new betrayal is that he feels that his compatriots are moving on some agenda that's leaving him out from his proper share?
I don't know. I know he was brought to this realm associated with Silk, as were several other beings, by Hades.
These may be wedge opportunities.
And it may be tavern talk as well. So.
Should I could have, again, there was one server who seemed in particular to know what's going on, and it may in fact know more about what's going on than she said. I could certainly send word to her and have her summoned to speak on it.
I don't want her inside the castle.
Nope, that's
she
fine.
may know too much to be a common citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Might be an unhealthy level of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Ben, is there like with position and station? Is there something like a like a customs office or something that I could commandeer
The
and
duty
for
free
a meeting?
shopping mall.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you know.
Um,
Yeah.
if you have the word of the king and you actually have Jacob's blessings and anything right now, yeah, if you want a little townhouse or something, that
Yep.
can be provided.
Yep.
Definitely outside that castle that you see on the map.
Yep. And I would want something that does not have have royal trapping. So like none of the banners of the royal family or anything like that. I want it to look. I want it to be something that is not commonly known to be possession to be property of the king.
Sure. I mean, it will just take a day to make that happen, though.
Do we have that sort of time?
We have no word of any kind of advanced scout or anything approaching the city of it at all, do we?
To Kylos, no, but there could be things going on out in the garden. Remember, he hasn't attacked Kylos with a full army. He's done some raiding aspects, but he's conquered the Hollowed Air area. He's the other city on the east there that I renamed.
Ashgate.
Mr. Cy, if you want to, again, I'll offer this. I can wild shape for 10 hours. If you want to go do a recon, we can before we go off to meet Lazarian.
It's a very large area to cover.
10 hours, and I can fly it.
I'm not going to tell you no, but I would like to get things moving as far as being.
And I don't have to be gone 10
Let's
hours.
wait
I mean,
the day then. I'll just go back to the tavern and talk to her. Like I don't feel like I don't have to do it under cloak and dagger. Cloak and dagger may be better, but if we don't have the time, we don't have the time.
Do you think she actually knows things? Do you think she's a spy, or do you think this is tavern talk? Do you think this is actually useful?
So I had found someone at the bar. I'll kind of go through the story about how I met Palace and everything, who Palace is and everything like that. And there's the conversation that we were having and how she approached us to say, hey, I heard you talking about this. Do you know this bit of information? So she volunteered that information, which makes me think that she's not a spy. And she also seemed to piece together that I may be on some level working for the king. I denied it, and she seemed to go ahead and buy my explanation that that's not what's going on. But she seems smarter than your average tavern. I think she hears things, and I think that she's very smart.
I like information.
Then we should go get
it. So yeah, that Ronaldius already left?
Yes.
Okay. Then Captain Cascade, while he's doing that, you can do an overflight. See what you could see. Be careful.
I can bring somebody with me. I can bring Desire. She's
Actually,
my friend.
no. Desire went with Ronaldius.
You guys talked over each other.
Sorry, Desire's gone. She went
Oh.
with all this.
Okay, never mind then.
You know what? It'll give me something to do. I might not have the best eyes in the world, but if trouble happens, I'm a good fighter.
Okay.
All right, then I'll meet you on the wall in 10 minutes. I don't know.
All right. So Josh, you're going to go back to the tavern.
I am. I'm going to go back to the Watchful Owl, yeah.
Cy and Cascade are going to wild shape, or you're
Well,
wild
she's gonna wild
shaping and carry you.
Actually, before I leave, I'll throw kill Cy a question. So again, she pieced together that there's some connection between the work that I'm doing and the work that I'm asking about and His Majesty. Do I need to deny that connection?
No.
Yes, always, completely, even if she knows it for a fact. Even when it's clear and plain and the king is standing next to you saying that he's your best friend, you're never, ever in service of the king doing this.
Fair enough.
Never be more truthful than she is.
I'm not a spy. I'm a soldier, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
All right. Ronaldus, you are sailing aboard a vessel. You have your troops. They are nearby. So these are more or less common troops from the militia.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll talk on the trip. I assume it's going to be several days at least.
At least 2 days.
I will talk with them, get to know who the men are.
Yep.
What their skills are, what their preferred activity types are, like how they fight. Who's the archer? Who's the shield wall? Like who's the swordsman up front? That type of stuff.
Okay. And any conversation with Desire?
Yeah, I mean, I will talk with her, and my impression, not in understanding, is that she is the child, the grandchild of.
I don't have blur.
Was it Ares?
Apollo.
Which leads to the question: if she has any knowledge of what her grandfather is doing, because we've heard rumor that he is in New Greyheim.
What Apollo's doing? No, she
Yeah.
has no idea about that guy.
Okay.
And give me an insight check, please, then, with her.
All right, I will try. Woohoo! Rolled a 19.
19.
Let me see what that gives me. Gives me a 19.
Well, Desire's not really a very good liar.
Okay.
So that really helps quite a bit. You're getting a good indication out of her. She does know things, but it's nothing to do with the old Greek gods. She definitely seems like she has more of a kin to with her father and these devils that you're getting as an aspect, which is still kind of relatively new for you. It's not something that's quite prevalently known to your people of Kylos, or even known fully as evil. I mean, it is a terminology, but it is mostly thought of as a fabrication of her. Tieflings are rare. It's not like they're an unknown commodity, so she's not like a complete, bewilderment.
Like, dear God, what is that thing?
Yeah, but I mean,
wow.
The belief in them and all that stuff like that is just sort of like it is definitely folklore, unsubstantiated comments here and there. You're just still not sure. So, but she seems to like know stuff in that regard.
Okay. I will talk with her about that then, like, and learn more about how the devils operate, like, because I'm assuming that I don't have a great knowledge of it. It's very limited.
Yeah.
So he will talk like.
She will give you an idea that they're very much like your city. They are very military. They prefer ranks. They prefer positions, and yeah. So you find common ground in that.
Okay.
And she's definitely trying to do this for her family, is what she tells you. All right, so those are the name of your saboteur team.
Okay.
All right, Electo, you return back to the inn.
Yep, and I'd like to see if I can find Renee.
She is there.
I will go directly up to her and ask if I could have a few minutes to speak with her. She raised some questions earlier, and I've been thinking about them since I left.
She goes, that depends. Are you buying food and drink?
If I buy more food and drink, can I have some conversation?
Yes.
Then certainly, I'll have another glass of the wine that I had before, and perhaps more of the roast.
All right. So she kind of takes you to a side table and gets you the wine, get you a plate of fruit that works well with wine, and goes, "What can I do for you, Captain?"
Well, I'm curious how you seem to know about things that were going on in New Greyheim. How?
And you seem to know things too.
Mm-hmm.
So no different.
I've bought food and drink. Perhaps I can get some answers.
Okay. I listen, and I like to know things going on in my city. It helps.
Are there people that I should listen to that may have information?
Yes, I suppose that's true. The Court of the Azure Owl has been known for knowledge, but perhaps corruption and their own selfish ways. It is why many of the Storm Templars watch them and the troops. And I might add, the headmaster, Castor, the High Storm, was very close to King Demos when he ruled.
Is he close to the entirety of the family, or just to King Demos?
Well, he still serves in the High Council.
It struck me as odd that. So you'd mentioned that there were already churches to this Raven Queen and this Silk, that there had already been temples raised in their name?
That's what I heard people saying out of that. I don't know for myself. I've never been there.
I mean, it seems fast. I would be surprised that's something. Were they co-opted? Did they, take over existing structures, or were these sort of new gods with new goddesses with new followers?
Most people are pretty quiet about it, but you say fast. Yeah, everything's fast coming out of New Greyheim. He's taken 2 cities. They've already changed, not only like names, and I guess things are happening in those cities, but not many people are coming out of them.
Right. The other thing that you'd mentioned was some reference to His Majesty Azarian and a new betrayal of some sort. Do you know what that's about?
No.
Do you know what the original betrayal may be?
Probably what he did to the other gods because they didn't know it was coming.
So is his not somebody who betrayed him, but a betrayal that he reaped upon others?
That's what I'm assuming, but it's hard to know. I mean, what I do know of him is this guy came out of nowhere, married the daughter who was dead from a bunch of King Killian's entourage. Like when King Killian came back, she was one of them. I mean, he lost his brother, he lost his sister, but he had her. But they didn't get married. There was something else going on. It was very weird. And then this guy married her and took the throne. And then after that, things got weird.
How much do you know about the weirdness? Like, what sort of stories have you heard about how weird?
He changed the name. He destroyed temples to our old gods. That's
sure. Is that? I mean, that's unusual, but I'm not sure I'd classify that as weird. I mean, the fog is weird.
Yeah, that showed up. That's another thing. I mean, people are saying, I'm not sure, but there has been stories that he's connected to the Titans of this new god.
You've been very, very helpful, Renee. I really want to underscore that, and I'll slide her again another gold piece across the table. I hope that if I have other questions or opportunity to come by and hear more of the rumors that you've heard, I could find you here.
Who really are you?
I am exactly who I said I am.
Captain Lecto.
Indeed, that is my name.
I've heard stories of Captain Lecto.
Were they good ones?
Yes.
Dashing, bravery, roguishly handsome?
Seems like that's the story.
Well, perhaps then I'm the same Captain Electo.
So you do serve the royal family.
I have had many jobs in my day.
Deception check.
21.
You don't seem to be very willing to take on the mantle for someone who brought back only half the royal family. Is that why you're afraid to stake claim to that?
Any debt that I may have owed the royal family for a voyage or not that I may have gone with them has been paid in full. For someone who listens to a great many rumors, that is an interesting story that I think that you would enjoy to hear.
Yeah. Well, Captain.
So who are you then, Renee?
Someone who really cares about our city. And I do care. And I think you want to be someone who wants to help, so I don't have a lot of your answers. But I'm not a fool either. I like to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to do some real investigation, the taverns are always a good start, but you know that the people who do the underground stuff are the people who know.
Mm-hmm. A war is often fought on multiple fronts. That's true.
So you're looking for the cult of the Night Garden.
Indeed I am. And I will slide her 2 more gold pieces across the table.
She actually takes the 2 coins and slides them back to you and goes, they're in a place called the District of Flowers and Shadows. But you better go in there with a little bit more credentials. Or you won't find them.
So if I were... Which credentials should I go with? Should I go with
I don't know.
Captain Electo, roguishly handsome captain who has seen many things and done many things? Or should I go as Captain Electo who has served on royal entourages before?
I think you should go as the captain who, if he wants to get in the right face, needs to know which one to put on to go find thieves and spies.
Fair enough.
I'm just a server.
I doubt that very much. I think that you are far smarter than you let on, milady.
I am smart because I don't get myself into places that would threaten my life.
Well, I hope that I find you back here again later.
You will. I hope I find you back here again, Captain. And with that, she leaves you to your meal.
Yep.
All right.
I will try to wolf down a second helping of roast and wine.
Well,
And
Salvador
then
sits next to you.
Roll back to the...
He grabs half that plate. Let me help you, Captain.
Help yourself, please. My treat. And
All right.
I'll head back to the castle.
Cascade, you are transforming into a what?
Giant eagle.
Okay. Cy, you're staying as you are.
Yeah, I don't have any way to do anything else.
Just asking. I'm not assuming. All right, so you're flying to New Greyheim?
No, not to New Greyheim. I want to fly out 1 hour and then to let's see. In the map, what direction is the garden
North.
from
North.
the city? North?
North and west and
Northeast, yeah.
north and east.
So she wants to fly north-northeast for an hour and then sweep around until she's south-southeast and then fly back to the castle.
Okay, wait a minute. I think you got me.
Head north by northeast up the river, then swoop back southeasterly to hit to the
And-
river again.
Yep,
And then back to
circuitous.
the castle. Kind of a half moon heading away from the castle, starting up the coast to the north.
All right, so northeast. So you'd actually be heading towards Hollowdale,
Yeah, just a little bit.
and then you want to go where?
I wanted from that point. I want to do a circuitous circle, around the city until I hit the river again, and then fly back to the city.
Okay.
Just see what's out there.
Yep,
All right.
scanning the
When
skies
you get
and the
to
ground.
Hollowdale, give me a perception check.
Oh, we fly all the way to New Hollowdale? Okay.
Well, you're in the
I
air.
didn't know
You're
it
going to
was-
see something, depending on how well your perception is.
Standard perception.
I have advantage.
Natural 20
Woohoo!
for a 27.
Okay.
Perception is wisdom, right?
Yes.
So I have a 23. I did not roll a natural 20.
23.
Well, it helps in a proficiency.
All right.
So.
Both of you, even from a few miles of distance, will see that there is plumes of smoke coming from the city.
Oh, wait. Would I be using,
Using your
would I be
wisdom.
using my wisdom? So
Yes.
that's a 33, actually.
Okay, definitely. So easily both of you, with this both high success, will see like Hollowdale looks destroyed. It looks razzed, but there is activity amongst it. A large amount of troop movement within. When you when you are probably thinking about turning, maybe about a mile or so, you will then immediately see a probably 120 what appear to be ravens, all beginning to fly in your direction.
If I saw ravens, I would lean on your back to indicate that I want us to turn.
And I
away.
would bank. I would bank away and
Okay.
start my circle.
Roll a Constitution check.
Is this a spell attack?
Nope.
Well
These are
done.
you trying to outrun a bunch
Okay.
of very determined ravens.
Con.
If they get close, those fireball their ass.
23.
All right. With the power of your much larger body, you're able to put distance, but those things look like they are coming at you. Until you
Were they
get
normal
about-
sized ravens?
Yep.
Or
normal sized ravens. But as you get within a mile of Kylos, then they break off and scatter among individuals.
well, I wouldn't have gone straight south. Like I said, I was gonna do that hour out. Like if you were, I wasn't going straight back. I was going way out into over the garden and circling around.
If you do that, you may get caught from fatigue. Because these ravens are not going to give you an opportunity to kind of just coast around. They were meant to intercept. So that's why I would assume that you would return back to Kylos to get back to
Even
your
with that
natural form.
80 fly speed?
They are just going to come at you. They are definitely unnatural. And they are determined. This isn't just you coasting around spying. These are out. They came flapping at you with intent to catch you, and that would be considered a swarm attack coming at you.
Well, I will initially bank the way that I wanted to, and then I'll turn my head to look up at Cy out of my eye to get his opinion.
I'll just say retreat.
All right, straight back to the city then.
And like I said, because of your constitution roll, and your larger form, you were able to do that. But they never gave up until that last mile. And you could, and this is the other thing, because of your perceptions, your knowledge, like they knew the exactness of a mile and broke off.
Yeah, I got no really good magic other than fry shit magic, so.
I'm an arch druid. I can still cast.
Nice. I'd have to probably have an athletics check or something to hold on, but.
Okay. The four of you will return together after your events. Throkal, could you please roll me one more investigation check, please?
$17.
Nice. So before you intervene with your comrades, hold on a second. A Sergeant Telemachos comes to you and goes, Captain, you wanted more information about the city and its part. Was there anything you wish to do about the sewer systems?
Yes. I think we need large caltrips. I hesitate to station people down there, although that would be optimal, and I think getting grates put in would probably take too long. But perhaps large caltrips wouldn't interrupt the flow, but would cause a lot of hard feelings.
Okay. On it. All right. The four of you back together.
Well, for what it's worth, Hollowdale has definitely been razed. So it's lost for sure. We could see movement of troops, you said, right?
Yep.
But no idea how many.
A lot.
A lot. Okay. How long of a march from Hollowdale to Kalos is it?
Hollowdale to Kalos? About a week.
All right. So conventional troops are a week away. If it's a staging ground for elite troops, they probably can be here quicker.
Is that mounted or unmounted, Ben?
Unmounted. Which is most of the Garden of Gaia's armies.
Yeah, I mean, if the elite troops wanted to move up via horse, they could move quicker via horse, or they may have other means of traveling. Like ravens. That was definitely an interesting thing.
I could have taken them.
I could have too, but we weren't there to fight.
That's why I followed your lead.
But ravens...
I don't think those were normal ravens.
They didn't act like normal ravens to you?
I mean, is that the perception that I got, Ben?
Oh, yeah.
When you said that they knew exactly? Yeah. I mean, normal ravens are smart, but I mean, they knew exactly when we were in the area. They knew exactly when to stop before we got back here. That's not natural.
Yeah,
and
they
ravens,
pursued you for a very long distance, which is also stupid.
They had a lot more stamina than a normal raven.
Okay.
They were directed. If they were normal birds, they were directed, and poor things are exhausted. but I don't think those were normal ravens at all.
I would surmise they are likely servants of the Raven Queen, who we now know has hold in New Greyheim. So, okay, none of this is helping ease my conscience. Just makes it worse. Anybody else have any other input? How is the defense of the city faring, at least?
We're working on it more. I am actively working with some of the people that I know here to build more guns for the walls, and an exceptionally astute Sergeant Camacho came to me with the insight that the sewers also need to be defended, as they would be a key source of ingress. So I need to commission a large number of blacksmiths to work on covering that gap.
How are you going to cover it?
Caltrips. Caltrips first, and potentially grates second. The grates will take longer to install and would require more skilled work down in the sewers that I want to minimize for obvious morale reasons.
Fair enough. It sounds reasonable. Ben, I know the city. Is there a lot of exits from the sewer into the river and stuff?
There's a few, but you're talking a huge city, so
right.
There could be tunnels from. I don't know if any one of your guys would kind of know. I mean, why don't you all give me a history check, I guess?
12.
That's embarrassing. 16.
You are rolling like shit.
You rolled a 16, though. I rolled a 12.
I rolled an 8.
I know he's.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled the wrong kind of die.
Did you roll a d12?
Yeah.
I have a +8, and all I got was 16.
I got a
I
15.
had a +9, and I got a 12.
Josh?
I didn't think I was there yet.
No, you're all
Yeah.
there. I said all four of you.
Okay.
The only one's not here is Carl, because Carl's doing Carl.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Let me roll my history now. Let's see. 8 on the die. That's 12.
Okay. So.
That's not my strong suit.
Yeah. You other ones, you're not really. I mean, you just know it's vast. There could be a lot of erosion. There could be a lot of aspect. But Throkel, you do know Forstad has had dealt with Drow, so you do know of the Dark Elves. So the Drow could have done something. You don't know if they did, but they could have.
What, something to
Get another
trap or
get into your
connect access with the sewer?
Yeah, connect an underground to one of the tunnels in your city, or 2, or 3, or a dozen.
Outstanding. Well, let me change the specs on that specification from man-sized object to scumbag drow-sized object.
All right.
So, and now I need scrawny, pale, knife-ear advisors to tell me where those access points might be. Certainly under the castle.
I need you to do an investigation check then. And I'm going to say yours is at... It'll just be a high DC, so straight up roll.
12.
Okay. You don't know of many dark elves in your city. But...
Fair. Well...
Hold on, though. 12 is enough for you to know that the owner of the Happy Goblin, Sando, the goblin once served the drow in the underground. And now he owns the shop, the Happy Goblin.
Sando is the owner of the Happy Goblin.
Correct.
And he is a veteran of drow service.
That's the rumor.
Well, let's have someone that is more of a spy master and is more subtle than I am make contact with him. I don't want my frustration and forthrightness to screw up this opportunity or his legs.
I mean, that guy hasn't caused any problems. That's just what
I know
the story.
I know he hasn't, which is why I want to be nice.
Okay. Just checking.
Because if I walk in and start asking questions, it's going to appear that I'm not being nice, even though I will be quite cordial.
Right. I will also let you know.
As I can.
Meredith Ells, E-L-L-S. She is a elf wizard who owns the Dancing Waterfall.
What sort of business is the Dancing Waterfall?
It's another tavern. It's an
More work
elaborate
for Josh.
6-story building. It is a functioning bathhouse as well. It is very high society for the people of Kylos.
That sounds like an excellent place to infiltrate through.
Okay. You do know of Sanny Hillside. She is a female dwarf who runs the Raw Ice Brewery. I don't know how much help she would be, but she's a dwarf. You're profiling, so that's what you know.
So,
City.
what was the name of the brewery?
Raul, R-A-U-L. Sorry, Raul Ice Brewery.
All right. Send runners to each of those people to inquire.
If they know what?
If inquiring after their services to ascertain or locate drow incursion points under the city.
Okay.
I'm not being terribly subtle.
All right.
I think that drow incursion points are a matter of state security, so I don't need to be subtle about that.
All right. All right. Okay. So, what do you other three want to do with him doing whatever the revelation that just came out of?
Need to hear the report, Josh.
Yeah, let me tell you what else I learned. So, I still believe that Renee is smarter than she lets on, but I also think that she is a loyal resident of Kylos who wants to make sure it stays safe above all else. I think she is an ally, not a spy. Or perhaps a spy for us. Maybe even just a good listener. At the end of the day, she had initially said that the court of the Azure Owl and Castor in particular may have some information, but I would assume that Castor has already given any information that he may know on this as part of the council that serves His Majesty. Specifically, after we talked for a while, she said that who we want to find are the cult of the Night Garden. Is that anything that sounds familiar to anybody?
Nope.
They said that she said that they're found in the district of Flowers and Shadows, and that she knows of me from some of my past exploits, Cy, including our voyage with His Majesty's father.
Okay.
So she has had her ear to the ground for some time. This is not her first rodeo, but that with the right people, we could get in to find this cult of the Night Garden and find more information about what's going on. They're an underground spy organization of some sort.
That was the answer. I was going to ask if they were thieves or seditionists.
Thieves. I mean, they could be seditionists also, but most likely roguish types.
Well, they don't usually refer to themselves as cults, but fair.
Yeah. Maybe that's just to scare away the normals.
Time is not on our side. Conventional troops are a week's march from the city's gates.
Oh. How late in the day is it right now, Ben?
For you, it'd probably be like 7 p.m.
I was gonna say I've had 2 dinners already, so.
Yep.
Ben, what was the court you said? The court of the owls. What was that again? Sorry.
The Azure Owl.
The Azure Owl. Who are the Azure Owls, Ben?
They're the mages that you basically
Like wizards, yeah.
that govern the library and a lot of that stuff, but they're not popular. But they are still seen as resourceful.
So these are people. These are people I may know. Then I may have learned some.
You know, Caster of the High Storm. He is the high advisor to the king.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'll go see him.
He also served Demos, though.
Yep. Yeah, he was very close to Deimos.
I'll still go see him.
By yourself?
No, he's not going alone.
When did I get
to come with you?
Okay, Caster.
I only know 2 people, and one's already gone.
All right, that's fine. We're going to see a mage.
So you two are dismissing yourselves from the captains?
Unless anybody else needs anything from me or has anything else they'd like my input on. But I'm not a spy, nor I am an infiltrator or a thief. These are all outside of my purview.
Throwkill, does the royal family or the royal household maintain any sort of records on the families of the city?
I would imagine so, right? I mean, even if is it just census records and the normal kind of like civil records, or do we have dossiers on persons of interest?
More or less persons of interest. There aren't any real big noble families that are just off of riches in Kalos. It is pretty much property owners.
I'd like to know more about this woman's family then. Her last name is Ashencourt.
So what am I going to ask the Azure Owls about again now?
I think just everything. See what they know.
Hey, what's going on? Yo,
hey, what do you know?
Up? Hey, you mind helping? Defend?
So why are we investigating the family of Ashencourt?
I'm just curious because that's the last name of the woman that gave me the information that I have. Information is information, and I'm just curious if we know anything about her or her family.
I don't disagree.
I had asked if she's a spy. I don't think she is, and if she's a spy for us. But I don't know that, and so it would be nice to know if there's anything to know.
We have people we can get on.
I don't know that we have files that go down to like merchant level or servant level as servers in taverns, but we can look or see if there's a fall or something like that may have happened. A larger family with a black sheep branch.
Give me an investigation check, Mark, at advantage.
They're both 7s. I rolled the exact same number.
You're absolutely right. It does. The Ashenford name it comes out middle class. There's definitely she is of the city. You definitely can confirm that. But nothing else stands as a lot of major knowledge out of that.
That's fine.
Not a landowner.
That's fine. I it's more just one of those things that if there's anything to know, I would rather know it than not. So
Sure. All right, Cy and Cascade, you are at the Court of the Azure Owl. There are like 7 buildings that make up the school.
Where's the head stay? Wherever the leader of the school is.
Okay, so you guys go inside.
Yes.
Okay. A wizard-like type. He goes, excuse me, can I help you?
Man, I didn't write down the leader of the Azure Owl's name. What was his name again?
Yeah, give me a history check now.
14.
Castor the High Storm.
Caster of the High Storm. Or just Caster High Storm.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm here to see Caster High Storm.
Do you have an appointment?
I'm Cymatalus. I don't need an appointment.
I don't know a Cymatalus, so yes, you do need an appointment.
I looked down at him. I said, Cymatalus, Captain of the King's Guard.
You are not the Captain of the King's Guard. That
You want to
is well dead, sir.
That Cymatalus stands before you. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm looking down at him like, that Cymatalus is standing in front of you right now, returned from hell. Would like to speak to the Lord of your order about his experiences and what has gone on in his time while he's gone.
Oh, right. Like you don't think I don't know of a changeling when I see one. And I'm sorry, sir. If you don't have an appointment with the master, you will not see him.
I laugh. I'm like, are you blind?
Changelings can appear to anyone they've seen before. What do you think I am? A cleric? Not stupid. I'm a mage. Make an appointment.
I learned at this school with the caster.
So you've done your research as a changeling. Make
You are
an appointment.
Ben, where is the? I would just be going to the. I'd just keep going into the building.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh,
You have
wisdom
guidance.
save. Where is wisdom? Right.
Oh, that's an ability check. Damn it.
10.
You can no longer move. Cascade,
Then
you
I
saw him make a quick
reroll.
enchantment, and here he is holding him in person.
Hold on. I've got shit. I got things. I'm trying to reroll it. I'm gonna reroll it with Indomitable.
Okay.
It's even worse. 2.
Yeah. You're held in place.
All right,
Gods.
so I'm gonna.
Gods.
Mr. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
No one seemed to want to get my name because no one's making an appointment here.
I apologize, sir. Look, I'm asking your name now, please. I'm Cascade Brian. Nice to meet you, Mr.
Well, I am Ventos Keen, one of the major mages in this institution.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Keen. You said Keen or Kane?
Keen.
Keen.
K-E-E-N-E.
I didn't catch that E on the end. I'm sorry, sir. Thank you.
It's an interesting. You have an interesting dialect. Where are you from?
I'm from the South.
Ah, that does make sense. Yes. Yeah. Are you
Way
with this?
south.
Are you with this vagabond changeling?
Hey, this is my friend, Mr. Cy. He's not a changeling. I've traveled with him for quite some time.
Well, do you know changelings will maintain an appearance of someone they're impersonating for quite some time, thus authenticizing their role?
I mean, I haven't heard of such things myself, but I've seen a lot, and I have seen him. I mean, I'm the one who picked him up off the river Styx, and actually on my ship.
Oh,
But
oh, I see.
um,
We're all delusional here today. Great.
I
I would have to come to the front foyer and have to deal with this today, of all days.
I apologize, sir, that you're feeling that way. But is it possible that Mr. High Storm could come? You know, if we could at least get a message to him.
Make an appointment, and yes, that would get the message to him that you would like to speak to him.
No, I mean like, sir, it'd break my heart if we didn't get to see him today, or at least, like I said, at least get him a message.
He is not a priest of Dionysus. He does not care about celebrity status. He is a working man.
I have no status. I'm just a simple sailor. I have no status. I'm not famous at all. I'm just I just don't. My friend Mr. Cy he really wants to see his friend, and I'd be heartbroken if he couldn't get to see him today. Please, sir.
I will put in for an appointment.
When is his next appointment then?
I am not his personal servant either. I was just asking if you had it, and then the changeling decided to be very puffy about his presence.
Well, is it possible to go in to see his secretary?
I will get the secretary to come to you.
I mean, I don't want to waste your time. I mean, all the back and forth. We can just come with you.
Once I get to the secretary, you will no longer be my problem. That is for sure.
But you'd have to go all the way up there and get her, and then come all the way back here, him. I'm sorry.
I am a mage, madam.
I'm aware. I mean, I figured because you work in this beautiful place, but I mean, I could get to them quickly too if I wanted. But I figured I'd save yourself some time.
With this conversation continuing to go as is, you are taking much longer to get to see your appointment with the headmaster. So, if you want me to put it in word, I will do so. You will wait in the foyer with these fine guards.
If you can get the secretary, Mr. Keene, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time, sir. I hope you have a great day.
And you too, madame. With that, he releases you, Cy, and he heads towards apparently where the headmaster is. The 6 guards will block you from following.
I don't even try.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I'm not going to do anything against people who are not actually my enemies.
Okay.
I'm not going to be happy, and I'm. That's about it.
All right, you will wait.
I don't like being made to wait. I've been fucking waiting everywhere.
I know. Ronaldus, I need you to make a persuasion roll, please.
Not very likely.
Ooh.
Persuasion.
Carl's roll
5.
5. Okay, so yeah, you get that Desire is definitely about helping your cause, and she has your back. She's a very capable fighter. You will notice that she has very enchanted armor and weaponry, and then she basically will. She's very eager to go on to stage 2.
Okay, so officially we are going to Lockett to basically convey the message that King Killian wishes to enter negotiations for cooperation against a potential common threat. Is kind of how we have been it's been explained to us, that is the message that we are bringing. If His Majesty King of Lockett wishes to continue the negotiations, that would be perfectly amenable, and we will convey that message back to King Killian.
Okay, if that's what you believe is what you were told.
Yeah, that's basically what my understanding of what we were there to do.
Okay.
If he wishes to say yes, let's form an alliance. Okay, we'll accept that he wishes to do that, and I don't know if I am wrong in that. That was my understanding of the situation, though.
No, I mean, if that's what you're pretty much there to broker a peace treaty.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm saying that is our opening bid is we are simply there to open negotiations.
Okay.
If he wishes, if His Majesty the King of Lake, I don't know what his name is. Carl doesn't know his name. I'm sure
Give me a history check.
Reldanius would. History 28.
Okay.
I assume that he would know who the king is. And
King Theodosius Baccharistus. I'll just put it in the chat. I don't know if anyone really will be able to spell this one. He has a queen, Vasiliki. You also know because of that role that Vasiliki is also half elven. And like your king, they have one daughter, Soraya. She is very close to your princess's age. She's 9.
okay. Yeah, I mean, if King Theodosius wishes to enter into a full alliance and peace treaty upon my agreement with this, then that's the main goal here is to establish that alliance, peace treaty, however strong of a connection Theodosius is willing to or would like to form. I don't know, and I suppose it's probably part of the role play that we should be doing is how much King Theodosius is concerned with what has happened with Greyheim, Hollowdale, and
Yeah, you will find that out when you arrive there because you haven't seen him part of it. But you're telling all this. Desire wants to know if we need a treaty made up for the king and the 2 cities. We're ambassadors, right?
Yes.
I'll work on it.
I have a feeling you are probably going to be quite good and skilled at being very particular in the wording of treaties.
I am.
All right.
Okay, so she will leave you with that. You have that pretty much in your thoughts. You are a few hours away from arriving at nightfall at the city. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
A Zoe returns. Well, she introduces herself as Zoe. And she says, the headmaster isn't really available until a few days. She has some things that there's some things he's working for the king, he has told me.
Well, I also am working for the king. And a whole lot of information has come to light that we require arcane knowledge about.
Right. There was something about you possibly being a changeling. If you would allow me to prick your finger, test your blood, I will allow this process to...
I put my hand out before she even finishes talking about it. Like,
okay. She does.
Go ahead.
She does a quick little prick and takes your blood. Just give me 1 more hour, and we shall return.
Can I make use of the library while we're here?
Okay. What would you like to look up?
I want to gather as much information as I can as to what I may have missed over the past 15 years as far as what happened within the royalty with Killian, and the information about why he didn't marry. Well, actually, we're in a magic library, so I wouldn't be doing that here. I would look for anything on the Dread Realms, because I know about that. I know that term.
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
I'll help him.
All right, you get advantage, or you roll separately.
I'll roll at advantage because I actually have the sage background too, so it comes out to a dirty 20 anyway.
Okay. You know a lot about the Dread Realm. That can start filling your head. What are you doing?
I am... Well, we had just kind of talked about the cult. I guess I would be looking to see if there's any information in, and again, any of the archives for the in the castle about either the cult of the Night Garden or even just general information about the Flower and Shadow District, so I can go ahead and understand what I'm getting into when I go there. Like why they call themselves the Cult of the Night Garden. Like what, any sort of references or any sort of anything about them.
You just know that area is known for some herbal remedies, and a lot of plants, cosmetic, and again, ceremonial or herbalistic in the sense of that, or religious aspects of that regard there. It has not really been picked up on anything highly known.
Okay.
Give me an investigation roll.
Yeah. That is an 11 on the dice, 15 total.
No, I mean, other than that, it's really just a very common place.
Okay.
There's nothing that says Thief Guild there.
Okay. Are there any of the cosmetic stores there that focus, or any of the herbal shops that focus on plants that bloom in the evening instead of during the day? Like anything like nightshade or anything night themed or dark themed, something like that.
Nobody wrote anything that detailed. Like I said, no one else has been that concerned about it.
Okay, so where would I go? You said it's still like evening, right?
Yeah. Your friends have left you, more or less.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to my quarters. I am definitely taking Salador with me when I leave. I'm trying to remember who I brought. Salador and
Well, your ship is accessible. It's not like you couldn't get people you need.
what's that now?
Your ship is accessible. It's not like you couldn't get to the people you need.
Sure, no. I that's true. Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm just trying to remember like who I also brought off the ship and who's kind of like on the ship and everything like that.
Well, it was you, Sheila, Salador, I believe.
Yeah, I think that they were the ones that came with me. Yeah. You know what? Actually, let me go back to the ship and see if any of the crew know anything about the cult of the Night Garden, or in particular about the Flower District. To go ahead and see, let them know that I have this tip, that this is where I want to go, but that's kind of where the tip stops. So I'm not sure kind of where to go from there. If I don't find anything in the Kingdom Archives, then maybe anybody in the ship knows.
Okay. All right. You will go back to the ship and find out if anyone can help.
Yep. While I'm asking that, also, I'm going to change out of my captain's finery and put not inexpensive, but much more kind of mundane clothing on. Yeah.
All right. Captain Throcrow, what would you like to do with everyone now taken off again? Your people haven't come back yet, so if you're still waiting. You're muted. Still muted.
I don't have any new insights, including how to turn off the mute button. I guess I'm still waiting for my people to come back.
Okay.
I haven't thought of anything else.
All right. Very fair. All right. Since it didn't take too long. All right. Cy and Cascade. Zoe returns. And she goes, strange enough, yes, Cymatus, you are apparently the Cymatus from Legends of Told. Castor will see you now.
Thank you.
This way.
I follow.
See, Mr. Cy, a little bit of patience can get you a long way.
I had thought my return would have been known. Fine.
You go into one of the large buildings. This place is cluttered with books, memorabilia, items all over the place. A very old man sits behind a big desk. It's got a skull with a candle burning on top of it because he's got that type of ambiance. Glasses, bifocals, looking up from a big tomb, and goes, Sam Alice, what can I do for you?
Well, we are attempting to discern what is going on, and it's important that we know what you've learned about these mists and all of everything that's been going on recently. And I can help fill you in on some of the parts that I know, and maybe between the two of us, with my additional knowledge, gain a further insight.
As you know, this King Azarian comes from a being Hades brought forth.
Right.
The mist is definitely a creation of his doing. I'm not sure if it's actually tied to him or mages or cultists in his service.
When I was attempting to escape hell, yes, those words are accurate. I came across a forgotten library where I learned a great deal of his original realm. He resided in one of the Dread Realms, to which these mists matched closely.
Yes.
But But it always struck me that the Dread Realms were demi-planes, essentially. Is it possible that this is an attempt to turn the garden into a demi-plane? Are we
A
dealing with
legend
those?
lord him, and apparently he is a being that has such dread realm ties. I believe that he is manifesting these dimensional rifts. We have never experienced such things in Spero before, but this being brought back from the dead is causing havoc amongst our temporal existence.
So this fog is indeed those mists of the Dread Realms?
It is what all the research from ages past are saying. They affect in all things. Boats go in, only to return moments, or come completely lost in time. Also, time within these mists are also inconsistent with that of seasoned sailors and captains reporting. Some think they've only been gone 2 days, and they were gone months.
So, what possible solution do we have? Is there a gate that can be closed, or is he the gate? Is he the anchor?
If it wasn't for King Killian, I think his father would have had a little bit more power with Hades to sever this tie that this being has. But the king has put us in a much more precarious position.
Well, unfortunately, I believe Hades may have double-crossed King Demos in that he used whatever deal he had formed to bring silk into this world. Hades was attempting to gain his own power.
What? It's preposterous.
I was there. I was there. I watched it happen.
We were there.
Well, you weren't here for this, but I was there when Hades brought silk into the world through his agent in Maximor.
What is this silk? Her name has surfaced amongst people worshipping in this new Greyheim.
She is, as best I could tell, the focus of the Dread Realm that Azarian was trapped in as well. She was the Dreadlord, as far as I could tell.
You're saying this silk is the major Dreadlord of what is manifesting within the Garden of Gaia.
That is what I read and what our own texts here have confirmed to me briefly.
Do you know if the belief that's structuring around her in New Greyheim is real then?
There are rumors that it is.
I have heard the rumors, but you've told me you have information that would confirm or deny much more that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I do know that Hades was responsible for bringing her into this world in an attempt to overthrow his brother.
But she's not in this world, right? Because that all would have been done in Hades.
She is in this world. I have seen her in Spero.
How is she in Spero? She's not of the gods.
She is apparently a deity of some sort now. She's in league with one called the Raven Queen.
I've heard of this church as well.
Another deity from this Alanis. They manipulated, well, they didn't manipulate, a group of adventurers attempting to stop Hades from overthrowing his brother freed Silk from Hades. So Hades' plan has been foiled and essentially caused a god war.
What was foiled from Hades to cause this war?
My understanding was that he had entrapped her in an attempt to steal her power.
Trapped her by what means necessary?
The stones?
I think it was the sin stones. I, I, I don't know what exactly. I don't know everything, but I know that that was the means to free her to take that power away from Hades.
So now you're saying these stones were broken, and she has been put into to our realm because he brought her here, caged her with stones, and then this was freed by so-called heroes that I've been hearing rumors of.
Yeah. And a war has been begun by, well, the Raven Queen killed Hermes.
What?
Yes. The Raven Queen struck at Hermes after the silk was released and killed him.
You saw Hermes, our god of messages.
Hermes. Yes.
And you saw this other goddess?
Both of them, the Raven Queen and Silk.
Why were you not struck down by them?
We're beneath their notice. Well, and Silk and the Raven Queen want our worship to bring them into this world so that they can have a place. I don't know how Azarian is exactly connected with Silk, other than the histories I read spoke of him as a very masterful general who was brutal but efficient, raising himself to emperor and conquering all he saw efficiently. And that appears to be what he's attempting to do here in Spero. And I don't know what his remaining connection to Silk is, whether he worships her or not.
What? You were there when Killian sailed in the River Styx.
I was.
I must know exactly. When did Azarian form? When did this happen?
Azarian formed in a different realm. There's a huge history that I had read.
Yes, but history says, even from the lore that I was able to ascertain through magical means, that he has been perished for thousands of years.
I don't know. When we got the last of the soul stones in Hades to return back here, and I was left behind.
I want to help you because it's been a long time ago. Those weren't soul. Those were soul keys to the actual gate. They weren't the same stones at the moment time that were end up in the individuals of the.
No, yeah, I thought they were called soul stones. They were so called soul keys.
Well, everyone sort of named them, but they were pretty much keys to get you through the gate to come back to the, of the living. But what he's, just to make sure that everyone's clear, and also fans that are watching this, then later on, he put 7 stones to entrap after all 7 were created into each of them, and then you guys could either kill or persuade those to give up their keys to free Silk, and most of them did, of course, because they were former servants to her in their prior history. So Hades obviously did a major flaw in thinking this through, because they weren't his loyal guardians, they were hers.
So I would rephrase it in that Hades allowed us. I don't even know that Hades allowed us a way out, in that there were keys to a portal to return for people. I suspect other gods left things along the way, but we were given, we acquired a way back to the Prime from Hades, from Hell. And when we achieved the last one was when Silk, oh man, this was a long time ago, Ben. it would have been like a couple of years for Cy.
Yeah, but Cy never saw Silk then. Only you saw her champions.
Yeah, I saw her champions.
They were all you thought were servants to Max.
Right, yeah. So he brought all these servants in and gave them to Maximor, from what I could tell.
Yeah.
And at that point, I would assume is when he had begun to entrap Silk.
Yes.
And using his minions to further his goals through Maximor.
Correct.
All right, so that's probably the easiest. Weirdly, at the same time as we were leaving the realm, and these minions, Azarian, Death Knight, the Grey Drake, a Beholder, and others, I believe Captain Brine would be able to identify them better than I. We were given weapons from Alanis and told that these would help in some way keep Silk in check. I don't know who actually provided those. It couldn't have been Hades. It must have been some other manipulation. I don't know why he would have provided them to keep his minion in check, unless it was to keep her in prison.
Sounds like the plot was definitely going for a while.
It was, yeah.
So,
at some point I would sit down and talk to him.
Okay.
Like, I'd get relaxed and, like, be sharing information openly.
Killian was betrayed by his twin brother.
I don't know that
Hades back bidding to bring forth these beings.
I don't know that Killian was betrayed so much as Maximor was manipulated. I don't know that Maximor knew what he was doing.
He was just gaining power. Silk?
Is Maximor what?
Does Maximor serve Silk?
I don't know what the Dark Sun is doing, other than he is now. I know he's a lich. That's all I know.
I will have to do more research to this. There are names that are now new to me. Get you up, brought forth.
I know you may not be terribly thrilled with Killian and his way of ruling, but you've got to understand at this point, I will do whatever it takes to help this city, and I hope you do as well.
Yes, the city is, of course, very important to me. This is my establishment. The court of the Azrael is sacred and special to me. Under other rulership, that could be much different, especially to this King Azarian or whatever. I cannot have that. I cannot serve that.
We get through this, we will find a way to help the court of the Azure Owl be what you want it to be and still provide aid to the city. I have a lot of respect for the arcane. You know that. I studied the arcane arts.
Yes, Theory. If Hades brought in this goddess, was fabricating control, but she broke loose, and now she has minions about her, you would need to talk to a priest or priestess of some renown, probably maybe that from the Temple of Athena. But isn't it, the more one has faith, more power grows?
I am tired of being manipulated by the gods, and I know you're not one to bow to them either.
Yes, but not when we're talking about being manipulated. We're talking about effect, right? So, if one was to be a god, and you had faithful, your power grows by this essence of new power, would it not?
Well, I will say, So there is a lot. There's a lot that I still haven't even said that I'm realizing. But Silk imbued a part of her power into those champions, some of those champions, all of the champions that released her. And
what do you mean
some of
infuse power into them?
She made them her titans, as she called them.
You've got to be shitting me. Why didn't you lead with that?
Because it's a lot, okay?
That effect makes all the sense more now. She is empowering it like it is her plane of existence.
Some people refuse that power.
Well, how many titans does she have?
A lot.
A lot? You said not many, now a lot. This, Cy, is catastrophic news and doom for us. We must kill these titans as soon as possible to level the playing field of where we're at.
I have more bad news for you.
Oh, great. Lay it on. We surely don't ask the titans are of existence already here. Couldn't get any worse, Cy. Bring death and doom upon me. I'm about to have a heart attack, I think.
Well, please calm down for a moment. Please. Ares has made pacts with Azarian has made pacts with Ares, Aphrodite, and Apollo, and their avatars, at very least, reside within New Greyheim. Physically.
In our pantheon of our old gods, Cy, we have a king and queen, correct?
Yes.
Do you happen to know if the Silk is one?
A queen of a... I don't know what how their pantheon setup is.
You don't know if she was once a ruler there of them?
She was their dreadlord.
Yes, I got that part of it, but if she has ascended to some type of godhood, which is very plausible from some that has happened into the Dread Realm because it is of that element, she is very, very unique in some aspects to what I have studied. But what I worry about is from what you are saying to me, that we're talking about her as possibly being the fabrications of a pantheon of herself. If we understand this religious study that both of you and I have established we both despise, but it is obviously an adversary of this type of creation and magnitude that could lead into this when it comes to blind faith and fanaticism, which is why wizardry and mage school is much better than what we have allowed these churches to do.
Agreed all the way around. I would say, I don't know if she was a queen, but she would definitely have been the center of their pantheon. I don't know that she had a position like Zeus. Ben, I guess I need a history check on that one. I don't think you ever...
I'll give you history because you did do some study on her. You were trying to find other study, and you were in Hades, so you had resources that were outside normal human mortals.
15?
Yeah, you do know she was called the Dark Queen. So
okay, I didn't know if that.
You've been kind of getting messed up because this Raven Queen has kind of come into it. But most of the people used to call her Dark Lady or Dark. But lately, in her last incarnations and stuff, when Azarian was considered a Dread Lord, she became known as a goddess and became the Dread Queen. You do know that she had established churches in her land that worship her, so that's how she ascended up. You will also know through a multiverse, other multiverse gods that are not part of your pantheon. You can barely remember exactly all their names, but it has been known that mortals can ascend to godhood with the proper grasp of power and having people begin to follow and worship them.
Okay. So yeah, I would express that I think possibly you would consider her the queen, as in the later years I read about. I would say Azarian was more considered the Dread Lord, and Silk had ascended to being the Dark Queen. So you could probably consider her the queen. I'm not sure queen of the pantheon as Zeus is, the father of most of our gods.
Well, if we're looking at this dynamic of that is happening in the Garden of Gaia at this moment, she has a mortal champion who's now putting forth faith of her pantheon. She has set forth titans in her name. That is very close to akin to something of a queen and ruler of other gods.
So are you saying we need to convince the old gods to do similar, to finally take a role in our lives? Not through faith, but not through blind faith, but as you said, a straight bargain?
Well, we're there. You said they
Do
already...
the old gods need titans?
Yes. Oh, yes. Father Zeus can definitely defeat titans, but if Hermes has already fallen, there will be other gods. We don't know exactly how all that will be, but again, things could change. As long as Hades... It depends on what Hades is doing. If he is betraying his brother to all this, those access that we have is concerning for what falling could be doing here. The Dread Realm is just known for its connection to death, torment, cursing. All such things are black magic to what we would consider fortune to us.
And of course, there's the debate whether those dread realms themselves are even sentient or not. So,
correct. But even so, if we're still looking at the magnitude of what has already happened, she's already established control. She has the mist. That doesn't mean the Garden of Gaia is already in part of Spero. If this should increase or grow, what would it mean? What if does she still have the old plane? Does she have resources there? And if these other gods are ready to come forth, which we are hearing reports that could possibly be happening, thus your god war makes more legitimacy of being correct. The best we can hope for is to turn these titans, to either stop them, loosening her power on the realm by destroying them, or they were able to recage her, because they are indeed what they would assume stones of her.
I look at him, I lean across the table, I say, don't be alarmed, this isn't a threat. I manifest the lion bow.
Okay.
Because it's one of my, and I put it on the table, I said, this is one of those relic weapons that was given us. I put it in front of him like, do your thing, look at it.
He does that, he instantly casts a heavy spell on it and goes, yes. Well, it is a bow of legend of their place, that of Greystoke. They have history with such against her, but it is not meant to slay her. This is not a weapon that would send her demise. You had mentioned earlier that you didn't sure where this come from. This could just be more of a fabrication of its existence. Another power piece to have the realm coincide with ours.
That does not sound promising, coinciding with ours.
Well, if you look at it again, what is happening in the Garden of Gaia, what else can you explain but this clashing of two worlds? The reports out of Hollowdale are things of death. That is exactly that of the Dread Realm.
Hollowdale is raised, that I know.
Oh, yeah, raised to make the dead. I did not tell the regular populace this. Do you know what they would think if they know that the walking dead are amongst Hollowdale?
Yeah. Panic. Yeah. How do you want to proceed from here with everything we've talked about?
Well, I don't know exactly what we could do without making... We must stop any temples or faith. Do you know where these titans are?
They have been scattered to the different corners of Spero, each seeking their own goals. One of them actually intends to stand before Zeus and attempt to peaceably stop the God War.
Well, that would be good. Then Zeus can kill that one.
That's what I told her.
Well, you must jot down all the names and descriptions of these titans. We must start looking for them.
I'll put together a list.
Okay. I will
And
immediately tell Killian's captains to set up kill teams to go hunt for them.
well, I don't think they all have an interest in helping Silk, though.
It doesn't matter. We are trying to stop a collision of realms. My man, realms!
Yeah. So is that all we can do? Is kill the Titans?
When you have another solution, I am definitely open ears. But this is all very sudden information that I am also trying to process. Thus, I was busy. But knowing that you know so much now, I should have brought you in earlier. Hindsight. Hindsight.
I've been out of hell for 2 weeks. It's been a busy time.
I think you're back in it now. Hindsight.
Well put. Yeah. Yeah. Cascade, did you have anything you'd like to add or ask at this point?
No, I've just been listening. A lot of it's been over my head.
Deception check, please.
Oh,
Thanks. I love this die. I love this die. I love this die.
Better hope it rolls good.
But it hates me. I got a 5.
As you say that, he looks you. What relation is she to you now, sire?
she was the captain of the boat that helped to get me out of hell. She actually came across the heart of the mermaid while in hell.
You can sail into hell?
Upon the River
and
Styx.
apparently sail out of it too.
And you do not think to lead with this? What is up with you two? You can go into hell and out. That means you can talk to Hades.
I don't know that they went willingly. They were taken, much like I was.
No, she said she can go into hell and come out.
What
captain are you?
Kind of had permission to leave.
You what?
What are you about, Captain Cascade?
We sort of had permission to leave.
Right, but I think more importantly, why did you have permission to go? How did you get there?
I don't think that we were actually looking for the River Styx when we got there. I believe that I was sailing us towards to take the Grey Drake. I don't recall anybody telling. I mean, I didn't stray from my course. I don't recall anybody saying that we were going someplace else.
So again,
you part of these so-called heroes, Captain Cascade?
I was the captain on the ship.
That transported them?
I was yes.
What do you know of the stones, then, Captain?
I've shared with you what I did know, that somehow I thought they said that Hades was using them stones to entrap Silk there in hell. and that they were trying to get them to take her power. They were under the understanding that they were taking her power from Hades, not necessarily that they were releasing her.
How did they free her?
I don't rightly remember.
Deception check.
As best I could tell, they managed to get these skin stones from her minions. I was there when we took down the Grey Drake.
15.
It's a good roll. Now, you also know who these Titans are?
I don't necessarily remember which ones became that.
Another deception check.
I don't remember exactly everybody who took it and didn't take it. That's not as good. That's 12.
You seem to know them since you were their captain. I'm sure you have a journal. Most captains have journals. I would like to see the captain's journal.
I don't have it on me.
Her boat was left at an island. We were transported here, as best I could tell, by the Raven Queen. We were told we could go where we wanted, and we came here.
You trust
I
this
do
one,
know.
Cy?
What?
Do you trust this one?
This one? Yes. There are others amongst the Titans, I'm not sure. They are a motley bunch. There is one with the name Greystoke, and purports to follow the god of law and order.
That is... did you write down accurate descriptions of all of them?
Did I?
Yes.
No. I told him I would put together a list. I didn't put together a list.
You haven't done it yet. Okay.
No.
And,
We're still talking. I'm not going to sit there and write in front of him.
Who is this Greystoke? He's definitely someone that is of major importance.
His name is Henrik Hephaestus. Henrik... Sorry, I keep... HK, so it's Hephaestus Kenrick Greystoke. He's a Warforged, though. He somehow... He somehow went to... I think he said he went to the Fey Realm and made a deal with them, and I don't know him that well, but the name stood out to me, obviously, from having read Alanis' history.
Black contracts, Cy.
It's the Fey. Who knows if they're black, white, green, or purple.
I'm going to take a couple of days to get all this information and cast spells and rest and get them to cast again. What is your plans that you're going to do?
I had planned to actually go treat with Azarian to see if we could talk peace. But I don't know that that's useful now.
You have an opportunity. Wait here. Zoe!
All right.
He rolls out his Zoe, whispers something in Zoe's ear. She runs off. 10 minutes later, she comes back with a scroll. He takes the scroll. Goes, no, that won't work. That's too conspicuous. Get the ring girl. I'm sorry. She goes back out. 10 minutes later, he comes back with a very ring that you see with an onyx head with a gold band around it. He goes, yes, this is it. Here, Cy, take this.
What is it?
You put this on your finger, and when you see Azarian, you'll speak this word, Badamoso, and he will go back to his old realm. He'll be cast away from us plane.
Even with the mists?
Well, of course, with most things, could have some resistance. So you have one chance, but if it works, you will save the realm. If you fail, you will probably die, but you're used to that. That's your service.
Fair. What was the magic word again, Ben?
Baramasso.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, that's right.
Could you? I was gonna say, could you spell that?
What is this a ring of? I ask him. Like,
Banishment.
what?
Banishment.
Ah, okay. Devil's advocate. What if this is now his actual realm?
You're shit out of luck, but we have got a good shot.
I appreciate the honesty.
You're an honor god. It is the best thing we can do.
I will die in service of my city and my country,
I know
my king.
you will.
Absolutely. I've done it once already.
Thus, I do not need to bullshit you about what you can do.
I'll take the ring.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
May Dionysus shine a little bit of fortune on you for once.
It'd be nice if the gods actually paid attention finally.
You're right. Your track record's shit, but go for it.
I think I might actually try to change that track record.
Well, I'm banking on it.
Well, I'm actually thinking about something you said where the new gods, the old gods, also need their titans. And I spent my life thanking Athena and asking Athena for her wisdom and guidance. Maybe it's time she returned it to save her skin.
Sounds good. I've work to do. Cy! Yes, headmaster.
Thank you for your help.
And he goes off to start doing some work.
When we get significantly far from the library cast, I will say he can come after you over my dead body.
She has been eyeballing, like, out of the corner of her eye, eyeballing you nervously up until that point.
Like, when we get away, that's the first thing he says to you.
All right. You'll do that. Okay. Ronaldus, you arrive in Lockett. You are met by some of the guard.
Okay.
Sooner or later, basically, Commander Amelius Saranto will come and meet you. She is a human female fighter with red hair and green eyes, well armored, very polished armor. Your history lets you know that she is part of the Mirror Guard, the royal guard to the royal family. She goes, "Greetings from the city of Lockett. What brings emissaries from Kylos?"
We come with a message of diplomacy. The words of King Killian.
Very well. Take you to the king. Of course, you know Lockett is a huge, beautiful city. There's a lot going on and all that situation. You'll get to the castle.
Yeah, everybody is like in dress uniform, like polished and everything.
Okay. Much like Kylos, Lockett's castle is only like near the outer, very close to you guys. So most of the city is built towards facing to the ocean. So it is in a bit of endangerment because if it had basically attacked, the king's castle would be attacked. Tower area would be most hit unless you come from the sea and go from there. But that's its dynamics. You will see, you will brought before a big, beautiful building inside the huge court. It is lavish. There are tapestries and banners and flowers, and everything is pure, pristine white marble. The king is a 30-ish individual, black hair, brown eyes, very well trimmed, very muscular. He looks like someone who has known combat. Like he is not one who has not seen battle himself. The queen is very beautiful. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, hair well made up, jewels adorning her, but very simple. They're not overly done that you've seen in other places. But she does seem to hold a lot of flowers and natural elements within her attire. King Theodosius says, "Welcome, Ronaldus, emissary of Kylos, representing King Killian. What may I do to help you, sir?"
Well, King Killian has entrusted me to speak with you regarding a common threat. New Greyheim has attacked and overrun. Hang on, sorry. I am trying to remember, and I just blanked on the names. He refers to them by the old name.
Yes, I am aware of the places that have been lost.
Yes. He wishes to begin negotiations upon a treaty or perhaps an alliance by which our cities may defend themselves and take advantage of any opportunity to combat our common foe.
I can definitely see the positivity in such things. This new Greyheim under this King Azarian is definitely disconcerting and is definitely becoming dangerous. His wanting destruction and conquering is unprecedented amongst the Garden of Gaia. Lockett has always stood strong, but we do not wish to see our neighbors be destroyed. And knowing what you have gone through in the past, we do not wish to see the Hawkins dynasty to be removed so easily. I agree to a treaty of peace between us, and I will send troops to help you.
Very well. Excellent. Do you wish a formal agreement, letter of...
Well, yes. Everything must have a paperwork, so we will know that we will be allies from this favor here to favors in the future.
Very well.
The Desire goes, "Perfect. We have such a treaty prepared for you." Excellent. He snaps, and Desire steps forward. A scholar also steps forward as well and checks the paperwork. And he seems very, pretty much going over that. Did you wish to do anything while they look over your new treaty?
No, I mean, basically letting the scholarly people, as it were, to do the scholarly thing kind of appearance. And
okay. He goes, "He looks good, my lord, your majesty." He goes, "Excellent." Another scribe comes up. He gets a quill, and he signs his name to the letter. He goes, "You are the representing ambassador, Ronaldus. You will sign as well here.
Of course.
Representing you're speaking for you in the name of your king." And that's pretty much what the document says.
Okay. I assume that I've actually seen the terms of the contract and read the contract itself already.
Yes. Give me a investigation.
Okay. That's a decent roll. Where do I have that? Right here. 27.
Okay. Exactly that. It is pretty much a treaty between you and Kylos that you will help operate and send troops whenever the need arises from a warring nation such as New Greyheim, or any other external threat that happens in there. You're just a little strange. There seems to be like unnecessary illustrations of flowers toward the border, giving a lot more extra space where you've signed your name, but there just seems to be a lot more extra paperwork than you've ever seen in that before. But the king is waiting for you to sign.
Okay. Do I have any insight into what that is?
That was the only weird thing, and you're kind of holding up a possible treaty between the two of your kingdoms.
All right, I will go ahead and sign it.
Okay. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
All right. 2.
Okay. Everything's fine. That's payback, Carl.
Yep.
All right. So he goes. Everything is situated. Are you returning back to Kylos, or are you Are you going to Sunhold?
Well, we above the table, Glenn, real quick. Were we supposed to go to Sunhold, or is it?
Not really. I mean, you guys mentioned it. You could. Sunhold is not very big. It might be okay.
What is the relations between Sunhold and Lockhart?
Lockett could probably take care of it for you. I mean, they could put the feeler out that this is a collaboration of your dynasties versus what's now being built up in New Greyheim.
Okay.
Deal with that, so you guys could go do your secondary mission.
Officially, our secondary mission is to return to. Actually, it would be our secondary mission.
You don't need to lie to me, Carl. I'm just.
Oh no, we're supposed to go to Sunhold and basically do the same thing, but we're going to hit a rock or something and have to put ashore for a little bit to get some wood for the lumber and effect repairs, and
Okay.
We're going to set up a defensive perimeter and we get lost in the fog.
Okay.
Is what the official story is.
Right. But okay, so you're gonna say to him, you're gonna go to Sunhold. That's what you're gonna tell King.
We have to do visit the Sunhold and continue this mission.
Very well. I will give you the night to rest. We will feed and supply you, and we'll send the troops. While you go to Sunhold, we will start sending troops. We'll get them ready.
Make sure
and
you-
have them prepared.
Make sure you check out the band 5th Edition while you're there.
It's another off thing. All right. We will leave it at that. Okay. That will be the end of episode 2. We will definitely have one more, at least another episode to go. Obviously, some
Holy crap, we survived.
major things have still dropped.
I feel like barely.
Ben!
Well, some of us
I
have
love
more
Castor.
to their lives than
You
others.
guys talk to
I
other
mean-
NPCs. They are different people. I'm just letting you know.
I love Castor.
I won't lie, Cy kind of likes him too.
The ability to really take out a key underpinning of silk with one simple stroke, that's very tempting.
Yeah. I'm saying.
Thank God
have-
nobody knows anything about cats.
Yeah. All right.
We have very different relations.
There's
I
one
can
person
defend
that
this
does.
city with one single death.
We're
No,
gonna
not
aim-
one.
Is February 11th ever, good for
Several, but one is much easier.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
February what?
11th.
Ben, that's the Super Bowl.
Is it?
Yeah,
That doesn't matter.
it does to all the other people in the game.
And for what it's worth, also, I'm probably going to be moving that weekend. I'm
If there's no teams in it that anybody cares about, does it really happen?
Yeah. It
Yes.
Yes.
Still does.
Just checking.
I have the whole month of February, but I'm taking the 9th off and going to probably move all my big stuff that weekend. And I am not sure what my internet situation will be yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday, February 11th.
All right, why don't we push it back to? You think the 18th will be all good, or the? Well, why don't we actually do the 25th for this one? If
Okay.
it's okay with Jay.
All right.
I mean, Josh.
That's fine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, so the 25th we will bring back Streams of Spero. I'll try to get Old Ways in a little bit, probably a little earlier for that group. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. It was very informative and going in interesting directions.
Yes. Reldanius is very nervous about how fast and quickly Theodosius was to agree to a treaty.
Oh no, that was pretty much, a common enemy. Let's make peace. That's good. I'm just glad that you signed the document. It was more for somebody else.
Agree to everything, deliver nothing.
Yeah.
Desire put in.
Huh?
I want to know what fine print Desire put in.
I know.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
Oh, I figure we have a copy of it. He has a copy of it. I'm going to sit down and read what that fine print really is.
Yeah.
Make sure you check along the edges.
Good luck.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you again at the end of February.
Yeah.
Bye.
No.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, we are free.
Ben.
Sorry, Josh.